Hey everyone, how you doing? Just thought I'd go live. Just finished a few little things. I'm almost trying to tidy up any outstanding tasks before we get to what I call Christmas week. Because from the weekend or from Friday, my son is off school. So obviously managing him and stuff like that. And then I've got like birthday parties, anniversaries. Then we got Christmas Day, then Boxing Day, which we don't really do much other than maybe go and check out sales or not really. Depends on what we want to do. But I'm sure there'll be things I have to participate in with regards to family and stuff. So we just see how it goes, really. But I like to make sure I've kind of wound down a lot of key tasks that have been a little bit outstanding during the week or the month. I hope you like the video I put out. And if you haven't seen it, you should go see it. It's where we can basically turn the elemental mega menu into a vertical mega menu because that feature is not available within the widget. But if you, let me just adjust my microphone a bit there. But if you add a little bit of CSS in, you can now make it go from horizontal to vertical. Of course, only use that where you want to use it. Add at media in if you want, because you may not want it to be kind of like visible all the time. You know, you may only want to have it for the desktop, but then when you get to tablet and mobile, you want to go back to having it how you need to have it. Hey, Floyd, how you doing, my friend? Asim, how are you? Oluwole, how are you? Nikos, great to have you here. Big Boss. Please, card stacking. What? Card stacking, stay in column, flickering. Look, I'm not quite sure I understand what you mean, but if you are obviously stacking cards, so what you have is you might have a container, and then you might have like you're obviously going to have a sticky top, so every time another container appears, it overlaps and they kind of stack, stack, stack. And then when you get to the bottom of the container, they all disappear up. And I've got videos on that. If you are getting a flickering effect, I don't know why. I'd have to work with you to look at what you've got and why you're getting this flickering effect. Because it could be the speed of your animation. It could be an offset issue. It could be loads of things. But that's the sort of thing we have to do via a one-to-one consultation. One thing I've made started being a little bit more blunt is I get so many people every day going, hey, Imran, can you look at this for me? Can you do that for me? And I just kind of say, yeah, if you book me as a one-to-one. And 90% of them never come back and book because they think I'm going to do it for free. And it's like, listen, I provide enough free support on the Web Squadron Facebook group, on the Elemental group, in the YouTube videos and comments and notifications and all of that. There comes a point where if you really, really, really need my help, because you could just ask someone else or go on the internet or go to ChatGPT. But if you really, 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 really want my help, you have to pay for it. Otherwise, I'm undervaluing myself. The Big Boss says, no, if I switch off stay in column, it will go, but it's sticky on footer. Again, Big Boss, I can't fully understand the problem because number one, I can't see it. Number two, I'm probably gonna have to inspect and see exactly what you've built. So it becomes a little bit difficult, right? You could, if you want, go over to the Web Squadron Facebook group. So have you tried going over there? So don't forget, you have got the Web Squadron Facebook group, if you remember. Look, 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 there we are. Sorry, that's your answering it. I just put my hand over. Go to the Web Squadron Facebook group, right? Over here, Facebook, Web Squadron, go over there. Post your question there with a link to the page and state where we need to go. So make it clear you need to go to this section. This is the problem I'm getting. So you've been stuck for a month. I'm not sure about stuck for a month. Like, have you posted that problem in the Elemental group? Have you posted it in the Web Squadron group? Have you posted it anywhere? Because if you're saying you're stuck for a month, come on, man, right? Is that real? I mean, I sometimes I do wonder when people say, oh, I haven't been able to do it for a month. I'm like, yeah, right. So go to the Web Squadron group in Facebook and stick your URL there, because then we may be able to go in and have a look at it. Honest Sofiane, how are you doing? Ranju, how are you all doing? I hope you liked the video about the vertical mega menu. Go and watch it because you can turn your mega menu, which is horizontal, and then all of your items appear below when you hover or click, to now make it go vertical. So you have your menu headings here, and when you hover or click, they will appear over here. So you may have a fixed sidebar. It might be you've got, you might even have it somewhere else on your page, basically. But it opens up a lot of customization options for you because some people were using third-party add-ons because they wanted the vertical mega menu. And it's crazy when you think that you're going to go and install a hefty plugin because you wanted to have vertical just for that one little feature. I actually surprised myself that I was able to crack it because when the mega menu first came out, I was like, where's the vertical? How do I do this? How do I do this? And I was messing around with code snippets and JavaScripting and got there, not there. You know what? It's frustrating. And then the penny dropped in my head with just using a flex and make it a column. But then the hard work came with making sure the item sat on the right of the headings. And you'll see how I've done it. None of my codes are perfect. You're probably going to find a better way to do it. Educate me. Teach me how to make it better so that I can put out an even better video. But I found that this worked for boxed width and a full width. So you now have the opportunity to take what I put out there and make it better. Make it more accessible. Make it more customizable. Make it easier than a little bit of trial and error on, is it 50 pixel, is it 52 pixel? And, you're just manipulating it a bit. I still think the solution I put out there is the simplest you're going to find to get a vertical mega menu without resorting to a third-party add-on. Now, you could scratch the Elemental mega menu and build it completely from scratch because we did a video on that, oh dear, about 3.5 years ago. No, not 3.5 years ago. That's a lie. About 2.5. No, 3.5 years ago. No, 3 years ago. No, 2.5 years ago. No, it was 3.5 years ago. We did do a video on how you could do it. But obviously we got the Elemental mega menu now. So go and have some fun with that. Honestly, a fan from Nigeria, I'm really glad that you're liking our content and I hope it makes a difference. Big Boss, can you make a card stacking video? No. So here's the thing, Big Boss, right? I don't take requests. If the request is something loads of people want and it was already at the back of my mind to do and it was like on my radar, I'll do it. But you have to understand something, okay? If someone came to you and said, could you now do this for me for free? Because number one, I have to build it and test it, make sure it's mobile responsive and it works and everything's okay. That's going to take time. Then record a video, takes time. Then edit, takes time. Then upload it. And even when you upload it, you got to do the cover art, the description, make sure it's all gone through, test it, make sure everything's all right. There's quite a bit of work involved there. When someone says to me, do it for free, after I've said, post it in the Web Squadron Facebook group or hire me for a consultation, my appetite to look into it goes from here to here, all right? Like we're off the screen now. We're gone down. So there's a point. Hey, John, there's a point that comes with regards to asking me to do something without understanding, is there a major need for it? So if someone could say to me that there's like 1,000 people out there who want to solve this problem, I'd go, oh, okay, maybe it's worth looking at because there might be loads of people who watch it. They'll join the channel. They get to know me, and all of that kind of thing, building your brand. If it's a problem just for one person, even then, I'll look at the problem and go, he's asked it. No one else has, but I know there will be people that want to know the answer to that. So I might look into it. But if it's a problem that is only for a few, then you have to kind of go, what's the point of it? So you say, I sent you a message on LinkedIn and sent a link. No, that's not how it works, Big Boss. Big boss, that's not how it looks, okay? So let me give you a reminder, okay? You don't send me anyone who sends me links on LinkedIn, I don't care about. I seriously do not care at all about. You can send me as much as you want. I have a Facebook group, Web Squadron, right? You jump into the group and you can then go and ask your question in the group. And if I don't answer it, someone else will. And if I feel the appetite to do a video, I will. But remember, big boss, unless you're paying me for my time, and that's the other thing I should mention as well. And this is me being really blunt, and I'm probably going to get loads of dislikes for this. But I couldn't care less how much you or anyone is stressing over a problem, your commitments, your work, your life, your family, if you've got health problems, where you live, what your financial status is, what car you drive, what camel you ride, don't care. Because unless I physically or virtually know and see and experience your pain and your problem, everyone's got a problem. Okay? Everyone's got a problem. And I can honestly tell you now, I don't think half the problems I have in life on a daily basis, whether it's financial, physical, emotionally, mentally, or whatever, no one's going to solve my problem. A lot of people think that, like, I've got a happy lifestyle. I haven't got a happy lifestyle. I don't really get on with my family, okay? I don't see eye to eye with a lot of them on many, many things. I don't like half the neighbours I live here, but I have to smile and act like I'm happy-go-lucky and I'm happy to meet them. Raheem, everyone thinks that everything is cozy with us. It's not cozy. We have issues. You know, he's got ADHD. Sometimes he can't control his anger. Sometimes he flips out a bit, mood swings. He shouts at me. I shout at him. All right, this is me being brutally honest here. Okay, so whenever someone says to me, I've got this major problem, tell me what to do, I always feel like you don't know what kind of day I'm having, okay? You don't understand, like, how I have to, like, almost on a daily basis have a chat with my son about behavior and, like, how things are difficult sometimes and how we can't have everything we want in life. Things are not free. We got to do this, we got to do that. Commitments, pressures from family, the guilt trip, emotional blackmail, all of this stuff, right? Taxes, managing things, paying for things. So, like John said, life is life, okay? But that's the thing about, hey John, hey Kai, hey Indori as well. Indori says, I started my YouTube channel. I don't know what your YouTube channel's about. So it's NerdTube. What is your channel about? You got to tell us what your channel's about, because I can't give you a suggestion, right? How about you start a channel where your first video is tell me what my channel should be about? Hey, Dave. So going back to, like, you know, real life and all of that, I love to help. I love to make a difference. I love to supply and produce solutions, because I think I've knocked it out the park in the last 3 or 4 weeks. You know, with the vertical carousel, the vertical mega menu that I released today. I've lost count. There's so much, I feel, brilliant videos, and I am being modest here, okay? I feel like I've produced some amazing stuff that you either could not do because people said you couldn't. You are either having to do a very convoluted way to do it, or you are having to use a premium plugin. And I feel like I've just knocked it out of the park and given people so many solutions that you can adapt, right? Everything I produce is what I produced to satisfy my need. Okay, the deleting of the unused images, it ain't perfect. You're going to get false positives and all of that. It ain't perfect. But you can take that and make it better. Don't whinge and complain. If any code or solution I give doesn't tick the complete box, that's because your need is your need. My need was achieved. I'm happy. I'm content. But if what you wanted was a bit more, fine. Take that and make it better. Because before you didn't have that. You didn't have the foundation. You didn't have the code, the snippet, or, oh, I did not think of that. The virtual mega menu video today gives you now the starting foundation, and now you take it further, right? You take it further, you build a plugin, you make a solution, do what you want with it, right? Unlike some people, it's all open source code, right? So transform it. Zaki, your Facebook group is unavailable, like all other groups. Yeah, but Zaki, you might want to consider why. So Zaki, I do know that you were removed from the group. So I'm going to give you a moment. I mean, do you want me to check and let you know why? So we could do this live right now. You were removed from the group. Okay, so I will double check. Exactly, Palav. One size doesn't fit all. Chris, yeah, keep on rocking. So Indori, you say your channel is about WordPress, right? So my question back to you is, why did you start the channel? Okay, so you told me it's about WordPress, but you want me to give you suggestions. Now take a stop and think about this, right? This is like someone renting out a shop, putting up a sign, and then they go, what shall I sell? Hello? Or you buy a house, and then you sit there and go, do I need any furniture? Then again, I would think that interior designers can be quite good for that sort of stuff. But if you've decided to start a channel called Mech Coders and you want suggestions, what is the basis of your channel? Hey, Massey. Hey, Phil. Joshua loves the channel. Watch every single video. Damn. I love you, man. But that's a lot of videos, right? Why you always endorse code snippets over a child theme. So here's my reason, okay? Let's say I drop dead and my client is looking after their website. Or maybe I build a website and me and the client are not working together now. There's no maintenance plan and they go there. So we go our separate ways. If I do it in the child theme, are they going to be able to manage it? And you might say, yeah, but we want them to come back to us so we get a bit of moolah for it. Yeah, but what if you drop dead? Is that fair? I am very fair and transparent. And I never want to make anyone who works with me feel like I owe them. Yeah, I bought your domain, so if you don't pay me, I'm going to sell your domain. I'm not into that shit, that kind of way of working. I want to know that if I build and now you go away, you know where I am, but what if I'm not here? And do you know how many times I've worked on websites where the previous developer just used a child theme and there's stuff going on, and then you've got to literally go through the theme to find where everything is and what they changed and all of that, right? Code snippet, I can see the 10 snippets activated. Right, something's not right. Let's deactivate that. Boom, test, reactivate. Make a change, go to the code snippet, make a change, boom, boom, boom. Right? It simplifies so much. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a child theme, but I like to use code snippets. That's basically it, really. You know, and that's the other thing to bear in mind. You could use a different snippet plugin. You might, I mean, look, right, at the end of the day, you don't have to use WordPress to build a website. You don't have to use Elementor. You don't have to use Bricks Builder. You don't even have to use CSS if you don't. You know, it's up to you what you want to use and what is good for you. My phone case is like, you know, one of these kind of cases. So, you know, I can keep all my cards with my phone. Lose my phone, I lose my cards. Very risky, but luckily I haven't. Some people will not like that. Some people don't want a case. Some people don't want to carry their money or their cards with their phone. You know, some people don't want that color. So as long as what you're doing satisfies you for a particular goal or an aim, do it. Because I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. Phil is a custom plugin person, not having to worry about, yeah, do you know what? I mean, sometimes updates can be a real pain. Now, Kai says the whole dropping dead thing is real. Is that because you're working on a website where the previous developer has dropped dead? kind of thing, because that is interesting. Right, I'm gonna try and now I'm trying to find. So I can't find the reason why you were banned, though, Zaki, but you were banned for a reason. Let me tell you now, if I mean, you got to think a bit hard, right, Zaki, for why you're not allowed back in the group, because you have tried 6 times and I've denied it on 6 occasions. I can't recall the reason why, because if I've deleted the post, that's why the post will disappear as well. But if you're soliciting or you are being mischievous with any one of my members, I have 0 tolerance, right? You're out the group. I might decline a post. I might delete a post if I think it's not appropriate or it doesn't really fit alongside what the group is about. People have experienced that, but you won't be kicked out the group. But if you are kicked out, you are blocked and banned from the group, I hate to say it, but you might have to think a little bit about what you may have done or said. And that's the way it is. 0 tolerance. There's too many groups out there where I see so much bullshit being spread by some people and nothing gets done. You might get a warning. You might get told, let's be fair, let's be considerate. But I see so much, and I do wonder. I see it in the Elemental Facebook group, right? Someone posts a question, and then someone sticks a ChatGPT answer, but they don't really tell you what you need to do. And then they go, yeah, contact me if you want to know more. And I'm a bit like, no. And I care about that group. And if I've had people directly message me and say, here's a screenshot of someone who indirectly is going to them and trying to get them to, hire them for work or, I don't know, share admin details or whatever. And if I ever find out, you're out the group. I don't even tell you. Believe me, I don't care. I'm not HR. I don't have to go through a process where I go, right, well, you've had your verbal warning, you've had your written warning, and I've performance managed you now, and you haven't hit these metrics, so we're going to have to let you go, and here's your severance pay. I couldn't care less. Because I always feel like when you join any group, you should be mature enough to know when you are doing something wrong. Okay? I don't think we need to read out the riot act or have like etiquette or the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not. We don't need to do all of that, okay? You know when you are crossing the line. You know when you're soliciting for work. You know when you're doing something a little bit shady or you think you can get away with it. The moment anyone does that, they're out the group. And I do feel like this kind of management does not happen in a lot of other groups. And it does annoy me that you will have people who can say what they want. They can be abusive if they want. They can be accusatory, or they can make someone feel not so good or whatever. Or they're just offering negative criticism or something because they think they're high and mighty, or they think they have a right to say what they want to say. It happens in every group, not just WordPress. I'm talking about buying and selling stuff, or a group about Red Dwarf, or a group about Star Wars. It happens everywhere. But sometimes the moderators and admin, in my opinion, are so weak. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. In fact, when I get requests for the Web Squadron group, hit the microphone. When I get requests for the Web Squadron group, did you know that before I accept you, I will look at your profile? So if anyone submits to join the Web Squadron group and you've got no profile pic, I decline. If I go in and you've just joined Facebook, like in the last 2 weeks or so, I decline. If I go in and I can see that you've joined like 2,000 groups, I decline. because you're just one of those people that joins every group, and that's a signal that you are going to start posting crap stuff because you just, whatever. If I go into your profile and I can see there's a lot of dodgy stuff being posted, I decline. I do not, when I get say, I can honestly tell you now, nearly every day, there's about 5 to 8. When I wake up and I'm on my stepper and I've got my computer on, and at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, there'll be maybe 5 or 8 new requests. Maybe only 2 or 3 are allowed in. The rest get declined. And you know why? Because when I look at their profile and I quickly go in and check and whatever, I have a uneasy feeling. And that, for me, you can call it gatekeeping. You can say, who are you to make that decision? How dare you do that? I call it conscious. I don't know if there's a word for it. It's not really gatekeeping, but I think it's a way of consciously being aware of who I'm letting in. Dave says, how on earth do you type whilst on a stepper? No, it doesn't, because here's the stepper. By the way, those marks are from my shoe, right? These are just like rubber marks from my shoe. I know it looks really dirty, but they're the rubber marks. That's not dirt. It's from the bottom of the shoe, okay, or my trainer. But that is my stepper. And I can't move it, but that goes up and down, right? So I'll be over here. I've got this. So you pull out the legs, right? Like that. Goes on top of my desk over there, so that I can pop my keyboard and mouse onto here. I've got a big screen here and another screen up there, which I turn to face me. Major step. It's easy. No excuse. Simple, Dave. Simple. I mean, look, let me show you what I've burned today. Let me see if I can get this on screen, because I've just taken it off now. Ugh, just taking it off. Let me put my password in. Can't get my password. Should never do this live, right? This is my burn today. Are we on Zoom? Are we focused? There we go. 3405 calories burned today. And I've done a total of 356 minutes. Okay? So in total, in the whole of today, this live chat is the only time I've sat down on the chair. Other than going to have a shower and making sure my son's okay before he went to school, I have been working and doing stuff, because I wasn't recording any videos today. I was working on a website and doing other stuff over here. Over here. It's all about being active. And when you get used to it, you will be active, my friends. You will. You can't help it. Right, I'm going to go back to the comments. Can I share my channel in the Facebook group? No, Indory. So the reason why I say no is because I am very protective of the group. Some people have said I'm a bit of a control freak. I don't see it that way. I don't want the group to become an advertising board for other YouTube channels, for anything, etc., etc. Because then the message of the group gets diluted down. And it's not just about my stuff, but if I start to say, yeah, post your video, post this, post that, it undervalues the group kind of thing. So that's why I don't. But what I would say, Indory, is have a think about what you want to do in terms of your channel. Right, okay, so I'm just going to go over to the group. So I've got a member request here. So Big Boss, is it Joshua? Is it Joshua, Big Boss? Are you Big Boss? You might not have wanted me to say your name, but is it I think it is, isn't it, Joshua? Is that right? Just confirm that, and I will be letting you in. I just need to confirm that. Hey, VJ, how you doing? Oh, Joshua. No. Because the only request I've got in the group is only one person has currently made a request called Joshua Gates at the moment. Anyway, I've gone and accepted it. Hey, John, how you doing? Ah, that'll be you then, Josh. So Big Boss, you're saying it's only for private members. Did you submit a request? If you don't submit a request, it won't go through. I've now got another request as well. I'm just going to quickly go through the requests for the group, which is a bit weird. Anyway, I'll sort those out in a minute. Hey Shane, how are you doing? I can see Shane, you've just asked to join as well. I've let you in as well. I'm doing all right. I've been winding down on a few things, just trying to sort out some website changes and a discovery for a client. And obviously been really excited as well about some of the videos I've put out, especially the vertical mega menu. I hope you saw the vertical mega menu, John. You know, I hope you saw it and you like it. And that's how I see myself in terms of like a question that came up earlier about how can I give suggestions for YouTube channel. That's what I like to do. I like to find a better way of doing something that stops you doing convoluted code, or thinking you can't do it, or having to resort to a third-party plugin kind of thing. VJ, instead of just naming them WordPress live chat, why don't you include the topics? Because there is no topic, VJ. There is no the topic, okay, is defined by what we do. If there was a defined topic, and I have done them in the past, I would put it in. But there's no defined topic kind of thing. So it can be whatever's. And that's the thing with the live chat. They're just whatevers. You know, they're not purely focused on just one thing at the moment. John's been on YouTube studying. You see, John, that's the best way to study, I think. Sometimes I'll be working and I'll have like a video playlist or something playing in the background. And then I hear something and it triggers something like that. Emeris, how you doing? But yeah, I do agree, VJ. I would love to get back into topic orientated live chats. My trouble is that I don't have a schedule for going live anymore. It used to be daily, then it was 3 times a week, then it was twice a week, then I had a break, then I came back to weekly. Now it's as and when I kind of want to do it. And that's, I prefer that because I have so much stuff on, right? And it becomes tricky and difficult to fit things in. And that's the great thing about being in demand. Or in fact, I can tell you now, my life isn't just web design and YouTube, okay? I have stocks and shares, okay? So I'm keeping an eye on the market. I'm investing here and there. I'm thinking about the future. So my son is 9 years old now. I'm thinking ahead 8.5 years. So when he hits 18, how much money do I want him to have in his bank account? How much interest do I want to be making on that to help him out? How much interest do I want to be making on my stocks and shares ISAs and all of that? So that there is income coming out of that for either me or him based on what life choices he makes. So I'm literally thinking like, you know, because this is a very important question that comes up a lot. Are we still going to be designing websites in 5 years' time? What with AI and all of that? I think we still will be. AI is just going to help us to do things quicker or more efficiently, but you're still going to need people. But what if in 5 years' time, the appetite for having a website goes like that? So there is still some demand, but we have a big, sharp, deflation of it. Because really, if you look at a lot of youngsters now, and when I say youngsters, I'm talking about, 20s and below, the appetite to have a website is kind of going a bit, right? What a lot of them just prefer to do now is just have like a link tree kind of thing, right? With links to where they need to go. because they feel like I don't need a website because I am, I'm doing everything on TikTok or YouTube or OnlyFans or wherever they're doing stuff. So there is this slight change that's happening right now. So you always have to be thinking that you can't rely on just one form of income. Even if you have recurring income like maintenance plans and all of that. And that's why in my household, we have my wife's income, and her pension, obviously, when she retires. I've got my income and obviously my pension as well when that kicks in. I've got two separate pensions, by the way. So there's the NHS one and a separate private one. Then I have my stocks and ISA. Then I got my son's bank account that I'm building up for him. I keep dropping money in regularly each month on that. Then I got the web design. Then I've got, there's the YouTube side of things as well. Then there's like other deals and things you work on. So you always do have to think a little bit beyond just, I've got a web design business. That's great. But you got to make sure, and I've spoken about this before, that when you take your income per month and then you take out the overheads for your bills, your rent, your electricity and all of that, and your food and your lifestyle and your car, you take that out, what is left is net profit. 70% of your net profit, I don't care how big it is or how small, 70% must go into your savings or your pension pot or whatever you're building up and investing. You got to think beyond. Don't just think of now. When people say to me, yeah, I live for today, I don't want to think too far ahead, I sort of look at them and go, you will regret that. You will totally regret that, all right? Because someone once said to me, why do you care? If you drop dead, you drop dead. I go, well, I do care. Because I want to know that if I suddenly drop dead in 5 years' time, next week, 10 years, whatever, my wife, whatever she does with her life, if I'm not here, my son, whatever he does with his life, they've got something that they can use or rely on just to help them out. Because the household income, wife's income, my income, that's our house, right? That's our household income. If I'm not here, that affects the house. And I'm not one of those people that's like, well, I'm not here. It's like when you have people who work in the office, right? And they know they're leaving. You work in an office, you're all shipping in, you're working on stuff, you're getting things done. And then someone says, yeah, I'm leaving next month. And then for the next 30 days, they do jack shit. They just sit there, come in, yeah, hey, man. They're hardly working because they don't care. Those kind of people I cannot stand. Because while you're here, make a difference. Because you're still being paid. So don't just be an ass, because there's a lot of those. Right, back to the back to the comments. Ricardo, have you ever had experience in a site created with Elementor of a non-smooth jump to section in Safari desktop? Non-smooth jump. So what you mean is you hit a menu anchor and it's not smooth. That can be browser related. That's the best description I can go with it at the moment. What's the go-to GDP plugin this time? Cookiebot is okay. Cookie Yes is okay. Termageddon is okay. I don't think there is any single go-to GDPR plugin at the moment. Hey, yes, John. Well, varifocals, my prescription changed a bit. And I found that when I was reading stuff, right, like on my phone, if my phone was down there, I was literally having to do that, John. I was like that. I was doing that and I was going, oh, please, I hate this. So, yeah, had to get some new glasses. These are Hugo glasses. Probably not even in. That's not even going to be in focus, I don't think. I'm glad you agree, Kai. Family, work, life, sustainability. Exactly. Like I want to know that my son is look, my son's got ADHD. Okay, he does have some anger issues. Okay, at school he's brilliant. At home he has good days, bad days. In fact, not good days or bad days. Good minute, bad minute. Okay, he can fluctuate quite a bit, and he doesn't always agree to stuff, and you have to, I'm not going to say we don't argue. We do argue. And I have to think ahead to, like, is he going to do well in education? I don't know. Is he going to do well in GCSEs? I don't know. A-levels? I don't know. Will he go uni? I don't know. Will he get a job? Will he get an apprenticeship? Will anyone want to work with him? I don't know. But can I put things in place so that the choices he has to make, he's not now panicking, right? He's not feeling like he's been, he's completely on his own kind of thing, which is why I'm building up his bank account. And I've spoken to him about it, but I have also told him that he's got to, like, think a little bit about that. Is that about the ADHD? But he has got ADHD, John. That's the thing. He's got ADHD, and what he has, right, he does have anger issues that are slightly connected to that. So it's not additional needs, because he hasn't got additional needs. At school, he's doing really well. He's doing, he's brilliant in maths and stuff like that. He's very good at remembering stuff, but he fluctuates between being satisfied or not. And that's the ADHD kicking in, where, like, he has, he wants to do this, then he wants to do that. And if he's not content, or he's excited, or a bit hyper in places, but also mood swings as well. Kai, friend with a daughter, started her brand at 8 years old. That's pretty damn good. I mean, what was the brand? Yeah. John says, you tell a kid they have something, they art in it, and say, I have XYZ. Not sure I get what that is, actually. Kai, fast forward, she was doing over 2 million a year with major retailers. Wow. I mean, wow. Right? Wow. But like I said, going back to the whole WordPress thing, if you are just relying on WordPress and web design, and you're not thinking a little bit, like, cross-dimensionally about, well, what if that stops? Like with me, people may stop watching the video. I can't rely on YouTube for stuff. People may stop hiring me for websites or consultations. You can't just stick to one thing, right? Or, like, I'm 46 years old, right? Most of my people that view me are aged in their 30s. So it's like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and then it dips off, right? But in the 20s, so if you imagine there's a bell, right, like that, the 20s is like that, but then it's the 30, 40, 50, 60, and then it goes down like that, sharp drop at that point. But the 20s is like that. And then you go under 18 is like that. So you got to think, in 10 years' time, are they going to increase? Will they join the 30, 40 group because they'll be 10 years older? Will new people who are now 18, 10 years' time, going to be watching? So you got to keep thinking, when you're an entrepreneur or self-employed and there is no guaranteed income, you got to pivot. And AI is making lots of people pivot so much more than you've ever had to pivot before. When you program for responsiveness, Joshua says, and you have a client that says it doesn't look right on my mobile phone, how do you find out a solution? Right, Josh, what phone are they using? Do you know how many times I've had a client who says it's not looking right on my iPhone? And when I'm like, what iPhone are you using? And they go, iPhone 6. Just think about that for a moment. An iPhone 6. And you kind of go, yeah, we're going to have to, and the iOS is like 4 iOS's out of date or whatever. That is annoying, right? That is annoying. But John, that might be your theory, right? That's your theory, John, about if a kid's got ADHD, you don't tell him. I do tell him. It's just like I am, because so that he understands, because otherwise he thinks, like, why am I doing this? Why am I not doing that? So I would say it's okay to tell them. Yeah. It's okay to tell them. It's like you could say that about everything. And I feel like that's one theory, but I think there's more evidence to say it's okay to tell them, kind of thing. Don't forget, I worked in NHS and I work with so many doctors and counselors and stuff. I've got friends in the industry. So there's a theory about don't tell them, but there's more to say you do have to tell them so that they are not afraid of it. So that when they find out that they are adopted or they've got ADHD or they've got autism, or they've got dyslexia, or they've got some problem or something. When I even the word problem, you shouldn't use the word problem, but if they've got something that affects them in terms of learning needs or additional needs or anything like that, they understand it. And it means that they can, like Raheem, he can read books, he can go online, he can watch programs or YouTube videos about that thing so they can better understand it. But you have personal reasons, yeah. But that's why I say you do you. So the thing about me is I will not, I'm not having a go at you, by the way, but I am not going to go up to someone who's got a child with ADHD and say, you got to tell them. They can do what they want. It's them and their child. Just like I will not say to anyone who's got an adopted child, you got to tell the child. We were very open with Raheem, but what you do with your family and how you do it is up to you, because it's a bit like vegans. You have different types of vegans. You have some people who you will never know they're a vegan because they don't have to announce it. They don't have to say, I'm a vegan. They're not going to go up to you and go, why are you eating a sausage? How dare you eat a doner kebab? Get that cheeseburger out your mouth, right? They don't have to do that. But then you have the group or some vegans who will do that, who don't like it. So what I say is, what you want to do, you do, and you do it how you want to do it. And I do what I want to do and how I want to do it. And I feel like that's how you should live life, basically. You know, Shane says, just want to say thank you about the chat. We had the live. Oh, do you know what, Shane? That's right. I remember now. Yes, I do recall now. I kept thinking when your logo came up, I thought that looks familiar. I'm glad it helped. Jim says, just joined because I clicked on one of your videos. Do you have an issue with editing in Elementor since the latest update? Nope. But to be honest, Jim, I have not updated to 3.26. Why have I not updated? Because I don't have to. And my tip is always wait 1 week before updating, because there may be other plugins. Don't forget, right, Jim? In fact, let's investigate this a bit before I make assumptions. You've obviously got an editing issue with your website. What other plugins have you got? Is this Hello and Elementor and Elementor Pro? Or is this other plugins? So what is it? Because if you've got a standard website of Hello, Elementor, Elementor Pro, I know people have had zero issue. If you've got other plugins or a different theme, then you may have an issue. Yeah, but John, I can't talk about that situation. I don't know the situation. So when it comes to subjective stories, I'm a bit like, I don't know. It's a bit like, okay, when people comment on my video. There you go, Jim. It's because you're using Albatross theme with MotoPress. So it's nothing to do with Elementor. Has Albatross or MotoPress said they're updated and they are updated to the current Elementor version? So when you have a third-party theme or third-party plugins, you should always update after 1 week on a staging website. It's plain and simple. Because if you go and update straight away, you can't blame Elementor. Everyone goes, oh, Elementor broke my website. Ah! It's nothing to do with Elementor. Well, it is to do with Elementor. But when you have a third-party plugin, they need to update. And before anyone says that Elementor should have warned them, Elementor give them about 2 weeks notice. So a lot of these themes, some of them have already got their update done the day the update comes in. Others, and you'll know who they are, they wait. They wait until someone says, there's a problem, and they fix the problem. And then someone says, there's another problem, and they fix the problem. There's another problem, and they fix the problem. That's why I don't like using third-party plugins. But with regards to Albatross and MotoPress for their hotel booking, I know the Albatross one well. I've used it. I totally understand why you've updated, but I would have said wait 1 week at least, kind of thing. Yeah, so what I would say, John, Bo, is in that instance, though, yeah, it's very subjective, you know, and I think it's one of those things, though, where, like, I mean, okay, look, I'm going to draw a line under this, yeah, thing, yes. I don't want the live chat to be all about ADHD and all of that, even though I've spoken a lot about it. But how do you know that it wasn't due to ADHD? How do you know? Because it's really easy to say it's being used as an excuse. But how do you know it wasn't? Because there's different spectrums and levels of autism, ADHD, Asperger's, you know, Tourette's. You could go on and on and on. There's different levels, right? So how do you know it wasn't? And if you don't know, you can't say it was used as an excuse. That's the thing. It's very subjective. And unless it's like a diagnostic test that you can say, you did this because of this. It's a bit like drink driving, okay? If someone has loads to drink and they drive and they crash the car, you test it, you can say it was because of that. You can diagnostically or quantitatively diagnose or prove that it was due to that. Phil, unless it's a security fix, exactly. Unless it's a vulnerability or you're told there's like a Trojan worm or there's a problem that has to be fixed immediately, and you know that there's 2 plugins have now said, yep, make sure you get this update done, wait 1 week, okay? I don't understand why so many people rush to do auto updates. I always feel like I don't get the rush unless it's a vulnerability, like Phil has said. And most of all, why don't you use a staging website? In fact, we did a video and I shared it again on the Web Squadron group. In fact, Paul shared a version video as well on WP Tuts about WP Remote, where when you do an update, because you'll see all your websites and it will say 5 updates or 4 updates, you have the option to do update and it will just update them, or you have safe update. There's a button, you click it. What it does is it takes a backup of your website, then it updates it, then it shows you your homepage before and after. So can you see now that your menu's broke or something doesn't look right, and it tells you what items are broken or not broken, right? It does that. If you're okay with it, then you click a button to say do it to the main website now. And if you're not happy, you cancel out because it's done it on a backup. That's the beauty of the WP Remote plugin. It's pretty damn good at that. And I think from a visual regression point of view, visual comparison, you don't get that in loads of places like InstaWP and all of that. So I think like if you're managing, I know people who are managing like 100 odd websites, okay? And they find out there's like a rank math update or a WooCommerce update, and they just go update, and it goes through all the websites. Then you realize all of them have gone down. Now you've got to go in and or do the backups for all of them, or try and work out what's gone wrong. Or maybe you won't even spot anything's gone wrong until the client tells you, or lots of sales and all of that. So, and I'll tell you what, if I was a client and I found out that just because there was an update, the website manager just updated it without checking, I'd be bloody annoyed. I'd be like looking at the loss of income incurred due to that. Usama, can you make a video on client hunting? Look, I've done videos before, and I feel like the methodology and the logic with regards to how you put yourself out there on social media, how you engage, how you network, how you give incentivized referrals has not changed from when I did video 3 years ago to 2 years ago to last year to this year to last week. It's the same logic. So go and look at the videos I've already put out there. Shane says, recently lost a client due to not updating plugins day one. They said it was slow and they wanted someone proactive. What? Shane, just explain to them the risk. Just say to them, right? The way to explain it, right, is say to them that if you've got a computer and you've got loads of games that you love playing, and you update to Windows 11. If those games are not ready for Windows 11, you can't play your games. Just say that to them, Shane. Because I remember I think it was 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Nearly 2 years ago. If you had a Windows 11 machine, then Fortnite on the PC via the Xbox Games Pass did not work properly if you had Windows 11. So you had to make sure it was still Windows 10. But a lot of people, when Windows 11 came out, just went and updated. Dung, dung, dung. They just went and did it, right? And then they were wondering, why is my sound not working? Why is the graphics not right? It was because they just went and updated. So go and give them that analogy, and they might turn around and say, I don't play games. Then you got to think of something else. You know, you might want to say, look, if you're watching OnlyFans and you go and update, you won't get any sound. They might go, oh, I don't want that. John says, one of my sites was playing up with Bricks Forge because the PHP was updated. Ooh. Was that due to your host? That might have been the host. Who's your host? Because normally, I know SiteGround warn you way in advance. So you have the option to either test it, do it, or even roll back. Which host was that with, John? Do you do manual updates? I use WP Remote. Joshua. I've done a video on that. Go and look at my video on WP Remote. I did the video about 6 weeks ago, I think. But you might want to go and watch that video. Paul's done a video as well, round about the same time, actually. Phil makes a really good point. OP Cache is one of the ones that a lot of people don't realize is such a pain in the ass. Especially if you've got like, well, doesn't matter who your website's with. OP Cache, you've got to make sure you purge and do stuff like that. Phil updates over 1,000 sites a week. Wow. But obviously, no, OP Cache is amazing. It's just one of those things where if you don't purge it, right, it doesn't forget stuff, right? And you might do loads of stuff on your website and you kind of go, why is that not looking right? Why is that slow? Why is that, not right? And often it's the OP Cache, right? Yeah, so Phil, 1,000 websites. Do you use management software or something like that? But I think that just goes to show how successful you can be as a business. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, though. So I remember when I first came across OP Cache and I respected it more was with regards to SiteGround, where the files and databases were clogging up. And I was going, well, I know I'm managing this very well. So what is causing this? And it wasn't duplicate images and all of that. It was the OP Cache kind of thing. Dave from S9, how did you do that? You said you won't realize something has gone wrong, ... I looked at the screens, had frozen, and my computer crashed and restarted. Huh? You won't realize something has gone wrong. Which scenario was that with? Was that with regards to Windows 11? Or was that with regards to when you run an update? Because with WP Remote, it creates the backup, runs the update on the backup, so then you can see if something has gone wrong between the screens. It's not doing it to your live website. That's how careful it is. I think that's what you mean. Is that what you meant, though? How long have we been live? We've been live for... I can't tell how long we've been live. 59 minutes. We've been live for 59 minutes. I'll go live for a bit more before I have to jump back on to do some other little things. So long story short, I was on the stepper from 5:30 until 8 o'clock. Then I went and had a shower, made sure my son was okay for school and everything. Got back on it at 8:45-ish. and was on it until, well, just before 1 o'clock-ish, really. About 12:30-ish, I think. Yeah, 12:30. Got off it, sorted a few other things out, sorted the cats out, gone on the live chat, and now I'm going to get back on it because what I'm doing is easygoing work, so I can step and do that. And I've got a feeling that I need to put this on charge, actually. Oh, I forgot to put it on charge. That I may hit 3,600 in a day kind of thing. I've already consumed close to 1,000 calories in eating as well, bits and pieces, protein bar, some nuts and stuff, and some other stuff. But I like to stay active, right? I like to stay active because we spend so much of our time sat on our ass. I know you're going to say, but you walk around as well, but come on. We spend a decent amount of time sat at the desk, right? Dave says, just now I'm on a Mac. You're talking about problems and my machine crashed. What? Hold on, your Mac crashed. This is a bit unheard of. But, did you see the PIN number? I don't know if you saw the PIN number. Did you? I don't know. You might have seen the PIN number. I'm not sure. Not, you know. So, why did it crash? I mean, for a Mac to crash, right? I mean, you can still get viruses and malware and stuff on a Mac. You know, nothing is, you know, Fort Knoxy kind of thing. You know, it was for a while, but even Macs can get infected and whatever. But what crashed your machine kind of thing? You know, that's quite interesting. I'm a little bit alarmed. I'd love to know what made it crash. Obviously, will I be live again? Tomorrow, Paul's going live with Dave Foy. That'll be a good watch. Friday, I'm going live with Paul, Mark from Wiki, and Jeffrey from Lightbox. We're doing one of our live chats on Friday. Next week, obviously, Christmas time. Will I be live? Probably not. You know, like I said, I'm a little bit sporadic with when I go live at the moment, but probably, I don't know, I might do. I'll see how I'm feeling on Thursday and Friday next week. I may need to burn off all of the turkey and mashed potato and gravy. Yeah, SiteGround are pretty good. You know, one of the reasons I really do like SiteGround is that they know their stuff. When you are on, you know, the live chat with their support team, and I haven't been on the live chat with their support team for a long time now, but a while ago, I was like back and forth with them with my websites and other websites with what's wrong here and why is that? And you learn from it. They don't mess you around. They don't, you know, say, oh yeah, go and read this link. This might help you. No, they actually advise you in a better way. And if you can't do it, they will then forward it to their tech team who then do it quite quick, to be honest. They don't, you know, whenever they say to me, right, we're going to forward it to our tech team, I'm like, oh, great, that's a day lost. And then half an hour later, it's done. And then they advise you of what you should have done or not done, or whether you have control over it in the future. A lot of other host providers are not so good. Bluehost, one of the worst. GoDaddy have got better. I will give them that, but they're still not brilliant. One-on-one, atrocious. IONS, atrocious. Cloudways, no, not was it Cloudways? Actually, no, it was Cloudways. Yeah, not. I'm not convinced by their great support either. SiteGround is good, but that can be the make and break. You know, when I'm working with a client, if they've not got their domain or host, I'll advise them where to go. They, at the end of the day, can make their decision, but I do pre-warn them that if you go to GoDaddy and there's issues when we're trying to sort out the email or the staging site and, you know, things here and there will be additional costs incurred if I spend more time than I feel is reasonable for me to spend sorting out your problem. Because it happens a lot. You know, you do a staging site with GoDaddy, and then sometimes you're working on the staging site and it stops working. It's so annoying. And then you lose what you've done. So I've worked on GoDaddy staging sites because the client went and used GoDaddy. And like, I'm regularly hitting update regularly because the amount of times, and it's happened with different websites, it just crashes out. You go, what? What's going on here? But it happens a lot. Shane, any experience of 20i? No, but I have heard good things about 20i. And Dave has just said it, they are reliable. The only reason why I've never used 20i is I'm pretty sure they only work office hours. Can anyone confirm that? Because it's UK, I'm pretty sure they only work office hours, even with the support. I might be wrong because I've never used them, but I have heard really good stuff about 20i. And people do tend to say, yeah, it's great, it works, it's brilliant, they're really, really good. Dave, they are 24/7. There you go. I am wrong then. But out of hours support. So there you go. I'm wrong on that. But I have heard they are good. So if you're looking for the cost between 20i and SiteGround, I think 20i are lower, but they are UK based if you want to go for a UK based company. Dave uses them for 200 sites and the support is pretty solid. Jim was able to roll back and everything is working again. Nice one, Jim. Phil, you a one-man band or 24/7? The thing is though, right, I know people who are one-man bands as well, and they are managing loads of websites. Not 1,000, but they're managing a lot. Some of it comes down to the type of website. Some of them, some of the websites they manage are just built off of templates. They just have to run one update and they know it will work for all the others. But a lot of them, they just use something like WP main, WP manage, or main WP and stuff like that. And things just work for them. Okay, everyone. 2-minute warning. You know, when you talk a lot, I do yawn. But I've been on the stepper a lot as well, so I'm feeling burnout now. But 2-minute warning before I ditch you all. And if you do join the live chat with Paul, Mark, and Jeffrey tomorrow, it's at 2 p.m. UK time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sure I'll say Merry Christmas then. If not, if you don't join, I'll say Merry Christmas to you all now. I hope you enjoy whatever you're doing, you know, with your family, your friends, you know, if you're on your own, with your pets, no pets, whatever you're doing. But make sure you have bit of a break, bit of a time to reflect, bit of a time to just think about what are you going to be doing in 2025. And if this year's not been fantastic, I don't just mean in terms of work. I mean in terms of your lifestyle, your relationships, you know, your inner feelings, your thoughts and all of that. Do something about it. Right? Make a change, you know, and if you have to stop talking to some people, stop talking to them. If you need to distance yourself, stop following, stop subscribing, stop doing things that affect you. Just stop it, okay? I get a lot of criticism because I do not mix with large portions of my family. But that's because if I mix, I won't be able to do what I need to do now for the future. Because I can tell you now, all right? I can tell you now, in 20 years' time, if I don't get things set up now for the future, they're not going to provide it. I don't care what you say or think about family and all of that. We all here for each other. We help each other out. In 20 years' time, they're not going to be there to support my life, my family, my home, and all of that going forward. So do what you got to do to make yourself a better life going forwards, because that's what you got to be looking forward to. Family's important, but a good family will understand when you say you're busy or you're working hard. They will understand because you're there for them when they need you, but you don't have to be there just to make up the numbers. And that's how I like to live life. Don't make up the numbers. Be there to make a difference. If you're there to make a difference, then people respect and like you more. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but hey. Merry Christmas to everyone. If I don't see you on Friday, take care. See you all soon. If I don't see you on Friday, I will hopefully see you after Christmas and definitely in the new year. Right, I'm now going to jump out. I can't even see where my buttons are anymore. Right, take care, everyone. Speak soon.